Peace world. Larry out of Brooklyn, New York City. Brooklyn quarantine. Fear in the big city edition. So, ignorance is bliss is a saying that I've always heard and related to ever since I was younger. But as I get older, I'm starting to realize it's absolutely true. The people that you see out here in the world having the most fun a lot of the times and just doing what they feel like doing regardless are usually those that don't have a clue. But once you start to get a clue about things, you really start to look at the world differently. So for me, the more information that I get about COVID-19 and the more uncertainty there is about COVID-19 is the more uneasy I feel. But then you're also able to look at the world and historically see how propaganda plays a part, science plays its part, and then politics plays its own part. So that's when you'll have conflicting news that touches on different parts of the heart and on the brain. So on one hand, you'll hear about great revelations in medicine pertaining to medicines that would work as far as antivirals. And then you would also hear about researchers and scientists that are making progress and breakthroughs pertaining to vaccines. For example, in the United Kingdom, on one hand, you hear them, they're throwing everything, including the kitchen sink, at a vaccine, which is about to start human trials soon. But then you'll still hear from scientists and researchers from the United Kingdom saying getting a vaccine is a long shot and may not happen at all. So then it's like, what the fuck? Which one is it? And then you hear about, not even hear about, you'll see the tallies on CNN as far as infection numbers and deaths, globally and in the United States. And the numbers scare the crap out of you. But then you hear about another study which says that the infection rate is probably 55 times more than they said. Meaning, if the infection rate itself is 55 times more, but the deaths are at that number that they're stating, that means there's an imbalance between the infection rate and the death rate, which means it's really at a 0 point something. Now, I'm not an math person. You have to go and get that information yourself. But this is what I've been hearing. But it's still uneasy because now they talk about second waves. Now, reassuring or not, when they talk about second waves, they don't necessarily mean second waves in the cities that have it. They mean second waves pertaining to America, in middle America, in the states that don't currently have it. And that's worrisome. So, for me, having a family, 2 young daughters, it makes me uneasy because you don't really know what direction the world is going to go in. I work in the healthcare field, full disclosure, but I don't consider myself, and I'm not considered an essential worker. Although I work in a pathology laboratory and I deal with specimens, human specimens. And although I have coworkers that still have gone into work every day, I made that decision to not go. Listening to the governor who said to shelter in place and social distance. Now, I strongly believe that I'll probably go back to work sometime in June, because I definitely can't afford to stay home beyond the month plus that I have been, because I didn't actually wait until the shelter-in-place order, because I saw the direction things were going in, and I was looking at what was happening in China, Italy, and Spain. So when I saw that they were social distancing there, I decided to social distance here. But it's the uncertainty that has me worried. And it's also the fact that whether it was man-made or a natural disease or pathogen that broke out globally, it's still the unknown. And I think that's what worries me the most, because you just don't know. So you mix the unknown with the wicked manipulation of the media and the elites, and that's what has me somewhat uneasy. But I push through it, and you got to push through it. You know, I knew New York would have been in trouble just based on the sheer number of people out here in the city, the population, the dense population. And I also knew that news and information doesn't get to every segment of the population. Not only that you have underbanked people, you have underinformed people because they're underconnected to mediums of communication and receiving the news. Whether it be socioeconomic, but a lot of the times it can be a language barrier. So unless the information about this pandemic, the economy, and so on and so forth gets to those culturally directing mediums, whether it's directly in Spanish to the Spanish population, to the Haitian population, you know, to the West Indian population, who they're saying is hit hard out in Queens, in places like Queens Village in Jamaica, which is heavily Jamaican, Trinidadian, Guyanese, and Haitian. If the information is not getting to these people in their native language, you're going to have a problem. So I think that's one thing that has to happen. So hopefully, with states like Atlanta, states like Georgia opening up for business, and just opening up all what I would consider some non-essential businesses, I pray and hope that we don't have an increase or a spike in anything, you know, in infections or death. So we're going to watch. Well, I'm going to watch and see what's going on in Georgia, which I call in another video, the citizens of Georgia, the guinea pigs of the United States, because we're going to watch and see what happens when you open up shop down there. So not trying to be a tough guy, you know, I'll make these videos and I'm smiling and stuff, but there's a fear factor there. I guess it's the fear of the unknown. And yeah, there's nothing to fear but fear itself. That's why I've tried to prepare in advance. And as time goes by, I continue to try to pick things up, because for me now, it's all about the supply chains. I watch the news, Bloomberg, you know, and other news sources, and it's all about supply chains. You'll go to the supermarket now, you go to certain grocery stores, and you see less of certain things on the shelf. And you also see crazy price gouging, you know. Boxes of gloves that were $4 are now $8. Antibacterial that was $2.99 is $7.99. You know, the individual pack that was 99 cents probably 2 months ago is now $3 and change, you know. Little stuff. Went to the store the other day. You're not finding lemonade. You're not finding certain fruits, you know. Water, is limits on water. You can't find alcohol at all, you know. And yeah, so we're going to get through it. We're going to get through it together. But yeah, it just feels like we're living in a 007 James Bond movie. And you really don't know who or what the supervillain is. You know, don't know if it's Goldfinger, don't know if it's Spectre, or don't know if it's both working in consort. But peace and love to everybody here in the United States, everybody all over the world dealing with it. And as they say, to be continued. Love.